What's happening, everyone? JayShockblast here, and check it out. Mortal Kombat 11 is a thing, and it's happening this year, coming this April, which is happening before you even know it. And we're already starting to get rumors on things that are going to happen in the game, one of which includes Spawn being a playable character. So I decided, let's go ahead and put together a list of the top 11 characters I would like to see in Mortal Kombat 11. Haha, see that? Play on numbers. I went with characters that are not part of the Mortal Kombat universe. So these are obviously probably going to be DLC style characters. As we all know, they end up bringing in characters from the entertainment universe. We've seen lots of horror characters like Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger in Mortal Kombat 10 or X, whatever you want to call it. And I think we will see a little bit of that in this one. What is interesting is it seems as though there is going to be a character or two or maybe more from outside of the Mortal Kombat universe that is a part of this story that is going to be in Mortal Kombat 11. So maybe that's Spawn, I don't know. But Todd McFarlane himself has hinted that Spawn may be involved with Mortal Kombat 11. And I'd love to see that. I think a lot of you guys would too. So I went ahead and put together a list. Now, in considering this, I thought of 10 characters. If I did 10 characters that I wanted to see, some of them and a lot of them wouldn't make sense. They wouldn't really mesh with Mortal Kombat in general, and they probably wouldn't even be realistic. So I tried to keep it somewhat realistic. I tried to keep it with WB franchises, since Warner Brother is the publisher of Mortal Kombat, and they basically have all the rights to all sorts of stuff in the Warner Brothers universe. It makes it easier to do. So I wanted to include like Karate Dwight Schrute in this as a joke, but I don't know. I wasn't sure if that would go over well. So I still thought it would be funny. But anyway, I love The Office. So I also stayed away from like Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts characters, even though I think they would fit. I don't know that they're the right call for Mortal Kombat. Like Voldemort would have been certainly interesting. And I wanted to find a way to get like Gremlins or Godzilla and King Kong involved, but they seem to be out of scale. So those characters are not in it. Some of these characters are not WB characters, but still, I'll explain. Without any further ado, let's just go ahead and dig right in to my top 11 characters I want to see in Mortal Kombat 11. And at number 11, we have 11. That's right. From Stranger Things, 11. Now, I know she's young, and maybe that won't go over well. This might not be very realistic. I talked to my buddy Tim, aka Venom Exile. I've done videos on Mortal Kombat and Injustice with him before, and spoiler, he's actually done some of the gameplay for me. Anyway, he didn't think 11 would go over well with all the fatalities and stuff like that, but I don't know, man. Like, she seems to fit the style. I know she's not necessarily a horror movie character per se, but Stranger Things in general has that kind of horror vibe to it. I wouldn't say it's pure horror, but it's got that, dramatic, oh my god, look over your shoulder kind of feel to it. And 11 has some interesting powers that I think would be kind of cool to incorporate in the game. And plus, it's the symmetry of the number 11. I thought it was kind of funny, but I digress. So, at number 10, Beetlejuice. And this might be another one that is kind of not going to fit, but it does fit because he's kind of a Joker style character. He's funny, he's hilarious, and I don't think that there's no place for that in Mortal Kombat, but I know that a lot of people that play the game take it a little seriously, and some people might not enjoy it, but I just think there's so many cool and crazy things that Beetlejuice could do, especially if they made like a map or like I don't know what they call them in the fighting games, but like a scene where it was in kind of the world of Beetlejuice. I would just kind of look at that and think, man, that would be perfect. And we know that Warner Brothers has worked with Beetlejuice before because we've seen it in Lego Dimensions. And I know that's a Lego game, but whatever. I think it would work. Beetlejuice would be pretty cool. So at number 10, we have Beetlejuice. At number 9, dipping into the horror theme, we have Pennywise from It. it is kind of having a nice resurgence with the newer movie, and I think there's another one coming soon. And Pennywise hasn't been used before, and he's perfect. He's got that creepy, clown look, and I think that he would be a very interesting fit for Mortal Kombat 11, and I believe it falls under the WB flag, but I might not. They don't have to per se, but I think that might even make it a little bit easier. So Pennywise from It is number 9. At number 8, Red Sonja. And Red Sonja, I believe, had a book in DC Comics with Wonder Woman. I believe I saw that. I know Gail Simone was writing stuff for Red Sonja for a while, and I think that was under DC Comics, so I might be wrong about that. But either way, whether it's DC Comics or not, I was struggling with female characters that fit, and Red Sonja is just a really awesome looking character. She brings in, a different style of gameplay, and you're gonna notice as I get close to the top, why I wanted to get some sword style characters in here, because a lot of the characters I was thinking of had guns, and I didn't want a million gun characters. So I just think she's got the look. The gore and the fatalities and stuff like that are perfect for her style of character, and I thought it was a really cool look. That's really all it comes down to. So at number 8, Red Sonja. Number 7, this is kind of an either-or scenario. Mad Max or Furiosa. Either way, I'm fine with it. I think they fit the general vibe of the gameplay and like the kind of aesthetics of it all. And Mad Max is definitely a character or a movie that's been really huge lately. And I have to imagine that they're going to have a second one at some point, or another one at some point, because obviously we have the original with Mel Gibson and the more recent one with Tom Hardy. But I think either way, whether they go with the throwback one, Mel Gibson style, any character, honestly, from Mad Max in general that they want to kind of pull in here, I think would really fit really well. So at number 7, somebody in the Mad Max franchise. At number 6, I think this is just the ultimate, and is where we start to get into the gun style characters. John Wick. And I believe John Wick 3 is coming out this year, so it's a very good fit. I think a lot of the type of things that work really well in games like this is being able to, kind of cross promote. And, Neo is a character I also considered. So I think you can only have one Keanu. You can't have Neo and John Wick. So, and they are very different style characters, but I'm all about John Wick, man. I really feel like it would be awesome to have him in here. Again, it would be a gun character, and I've got some characters that use guns coming up here. But John Wick, perfect, I think, personally. You guys can certainly let me know what you guys think. At number 5, The Crow. I love The Crow. I've got The Crow Funko Pop here on my desk. It is definitely a very classic movie that I loved, and it's kind of along the lines of Spawn. I think of both of those movies coming out around the same time, and just the way that they changed the way, like they were I was younger when those movies came out, and they really changed how I felt about these style movies. I was very impressionable when I watched them, and they've always held a very special place for me. So The Crow, I mean, what can you say? He's got so many great attributes and features that I think would do well in a fighting game, and just fits the aesthetics of it all. He seems to be very much a Mortal Kombat character. So at number 5, The Crow. At number 4, there are a lot of directions that you can go with this. I chose the one that I personally like the most. We have Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, and fits right into the WB thing, I believe. I believe that's a WB franchise. Jon Snow is my favorite character in Game of Thrones. You can throw in the White Walker King. You can throw in, the Hound. My Venom Exile actually said Arya Stark because his daughter's Arya, and but I veto that because no 6-year-old that can destroy me at Super Smash Brothers can have their name associated with my list. But Jon Snow, you know, the King of the North, he is, you know, the ultimate swordsman of the Game of Thrones. There are just a lot of characters you could honestly take from it. I wouldn't even hate it if they took Jason Momoa's character, which of course I'm blanking at the moment. Not Khaleesi. Khaleesi's. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. Daenerys is Khaleesi, but you know, her deceased husband. I don't think Daenerys would actually be a very good character for it, but I think there's a lot of really great Game of Thrones characters we can fit in here. You're only going to put one, so I picked Jon Snow. You guys might think that somebody else is more fitting. I don't. Jon Snow for me. At number 3, we need to start crossing over into the possibility of a DC Comics character coming in. And we obviously saw multiple Mortal Kombat characters in Injustice games. So we are going to see the Joker at number 3. There are a lot of characters that we can kind of choose from. And I wanted to think about characters that had movies coming out in 2018. Or, you know, just had a movie in the case of Aquaman. And maybe Aquaman fits, you know, a Jason Momoa style Aquaman. But for me, the Joker is the perfect character to cross over into Mortal Kombat, to incorporate into Mortal Kombat, because, you know, he's so hyper aware and he's funny and he would just fit. I feel like the things that he could do would just fit perfectly. And maybe there are other characters that would too. Like, honestly, if you brought Batman in, I think you could write a really good story with Batman being involved within Mortal Kombat. And certainly a good possibility as well. But I don't know, man. The Joker, I just think of the way he could, you know, work his way into Injustice or Mortal Kombat. And it just makes me happy. And plus, you know, we've got Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie coming soon. So I'm pretty much thinking that would be a great way to cross-promote for WB. So at number 3, we have the Joker. At number 2, I think about this character, and this is selfish. I want this character. It's probably a better bet for Injustice 3 once that happens. At number 2, we have Skeletor. Okay, we just had a comic book run of Injustice versus Masters of the Universe, or maybe it's the other way around. And I want to get Skeletor into one of these fighting games. I'm a huge He-Man Masters of the Universe fan, and Skeletor is just obviously the coolest, you know? Like, I know, he's just awesome, you know, he's Skeletor. And I look at him and I think this is perfect for Mortal Kombat. And maybe, like I said, it makes more sense to hold him off for Injustice 3. That will hopefully inevitably happen, you know, a year or 2 from now. Probably 2 years at this point, but maybe even 3. But I just think Skeletor would be great if we were going to bring one of those style characters into this game. And I don't think there are many people that would disagree. At number 1, I think there's a 0% chance of this happening. And again, selfish. But if any character from the Marvel Universe was going to have the opportunity to make their way into Mortal Kombat, it would absolutely be Deadpool. Deadpool is the master of breaking the fourth wall, and he would be aware that he is in a place he's not supposed to be. I don't think Marvel would ever allow it. I don't think DC would want it either. And ultimately, I think that is a character that would be totally cock-blocked, you know, from being in Mortal Kombat. But a guy can dream. It's my top 10 list, and Deadpool is perfect. He's got some guns, he's got some swords, he's got grenades, he's got literally anything, you know. I would not be surprised to see him pull a plunger out of his pants and find a way to, you know, do a fatality with it. So it would be a dream come true to see Deadpool in Mortal Kombat 11. I just can't think of a better character for it to be. Again, I think there's a 0% chance of it happening, and I have a feeling that people will drive that point home on me, but it's my top 10 list, god damn it, and I can pick whoever I want. So, what do you guys think? Non-Mortal Kombat characters in Mortal Kombat 11. That's my top 11. You can do 10, however many you want. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to be working very closely with Mortal Kombat Stay tuned for mid-January. Might have some news. Don't know if I'm really supposed to talk about it much, but I'm excited. You're going to see lots of Mortal Kombat here. Again, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you.